Thank you, Barnabas Ministries, for having me here. Thank you, Dick, for inviting me to come and speak tonight. It's my honor to be up here. My task tonight was to tell you all how Barnabas Ministries saved my ministry, literally saved my life. So I guess I have to go back to when I started, when I was appointed as the pastor of our church, which is going on 5 years now. And when I was appointed to that church, I was still simply just the lay minister. And there was 5 people left in the church. And our district superintendent actually called a meeting so he could close the church down. So I called the other 5 people in the church and said, you need to get over here, we're praying now. And we spent the whole day at the altar praying all day. And that night, what led to my appointment was I looked at the district superintendent and I said, closing the church down is unacceptable and it's not going to happen. And he said, well, who will lead? And I said, I guess I will. So that's where my journey began. And I really have always just thought of what would God want me to do? And I just go head first. A little risk taker, I know, and sometimes I don't think about it until I'm in it, and I'm like, oh, God, what did I do? you didn't tell me about this part. Building cost, being a building manager, being a counselor, being a pastor, being a marriage counselor with some people, pulling a recovery counselor, homeless shelter looker. It's a whole bunch of stuff involved in an urban ministry that can become very tiring and wearing. And on top of that, I was quickly told after I was appointed by many within my own denomination that because I was a woman, and especially a woman of color, not to expect much help. And it's pretty much been that way. But I am a risk taker, and I believe in God, so I just keep going forward. And I push through. And I'd been doing this for several years. I have several pastor friends within the city that love me dearly. I think they love more to tease me than anything else. I'm the little sister, so you can imagine the taunting I get. But they had invited me to come and be a part of a group, a Barnabas ministry group. And I actually turned them down first because I had the mindset after being 3 years a pastor, just not to trust anybody, even my own friends. If I couldn't trust anybody in my own denomination, I certainly wasn't going to trust anybody else. And God had taken me this far, so I'm pretty sure he'll figure out how to get me the rest of the way, not realizing that he was about to take me the rest of the way. I have a beautiful brother, Pastor Herson, who just does not let up. and he came to me and he said, listen, my sister, I need you to come with me. And I said, okay, if you need me there, I'll go. Because it's not for me. I don't need anybody. And I went, and it changed my life. I discovered that there are a handful of people out there that I can trust with everything. Not just what's going on in ministry, but those personal things that were happening in my own life that, my church members knew about, obviously, but I couldn't really share a lot of the emotion. I had a bit with ovarian cancer. So that was a very lonely road for both myself and my husband. Although our congregation was very involved and praying with us and wanting to know the updates, the falling apart at home was a whole nother story, and my group was there for me the whole time. And then one thing after the other with my medical history, and the ministry starts getting a little bit more overwhelming, and the need gets bigger. And within my own denomination, those that are supposed to be lifting me up get further away, but expect more from me. So probably about a little more than 6 months ago, I came to a point where I was not ready to just give up on ministry. I was actually ready to give up on life. I was done. living. And I just wanted to go home to my Father. I knew I'd be safe there. And it was my group that helped me through this time. Not just the weekly times where we'd meet, but, they'd call me on the phone every day. They'd come to the church, They'd get in touch with my kids, my husband. They walked me through everything, every step, every emotion. Every time I was, oh, no, I'm fine. I can do this. Really? Okay, so what about this? And they'd bring me back down to where I needed to just be still and trust that they were going to hold me if I just let go. So I did. I just let go. That old trick when you're a kid and you're standing on the edge of a chair. If you catch me, then I know I can trust you, right? That's exactly what I did. I just fell back into their arms, and my Barnabas Ministry group saved my life, which entailed saved my ministry. And that's why I'm here today, to tell people that it's not just about, being able to share those things that, because as pastors, we know there's those times we get beaten down and we feel a little lost and confused when it's in ministry, and we feel like failures, and sometimes we are, and we need people to tell us and redirect us. But there's something that happens when it really becomes about your life, when, my husband and I have a beautiful new granddaughter, and I'm looking at her saying, I don't want to spend my life with you anymore because ministry has taken that much out of me. My Barnabas Ministry group understood that. Those are things they understand because they've been through those things, and they were able to guide me. And today, feeling much better, still struggling. But my struggle isn't so much of, wanting to be here. It's, okay, how much more time can I have? Because I've got a lot of work to do. And I know that my team is going to stand behind me. So I encourage any of you, especially the pastor's spouses, pastors' wives, the pastors' husbands too, to be involved with the Barnabas group and to support your spouses in their Barnabas groups, to make sure they're getting to those groups on time. Because, see, my husband didn't know that I had gone that far until my group talked to him. And that was important, that I stay with him. Thank you.